Yo. What's up, guys? Give me a little second. YouTube info in bio. Damn it. Let's get ready to rumble. Yo, what's good, everyone? I'm gonna wait for some more people to get in before I start talking, but nonetheless, it is fantasy football, and I'm running through with you information about running backs. So go ahead, like, share, and let's get to it. Because I'm gonna say a couple things and all that. So got some information on some running backs, fantasy football, specifically PPR league. That's what I run, and that's what I've been running. So unfortunately, if you're like in Dynasty or something like that, I can help you kind of, but not all that much. I'm just being honest. I'm a PPR guy. PPR being points per reception. So if you're rocking with that, then I'm the guy for you. But regardless of all of that, yeah, I got some running back information for you guys. So I'm just waiting for a little bit more people to get in. But by the time 7, I'm gonna give it like 7:12. I'm gonna get that thing to hit. I'm gonna hit the intro, and then I'm gonna do what I got for you guys. So we up, waiting for a little bit just to see who is rocking with this fantasy football life. But let me know in the comments if you guys have drafted already. If you guys are planning to draft, if I could convince you to draft fantasy football, let me know what's up. Talk to me, because I talk back. So I am one of those people that drafts really late. I kind of like wait for injuries, to happen. Even though injuries are going to happen regardless, I just wait. I don't like to go and draft in August or June and then an injury happens or a trade happens. So for the most part, I wait until week 3, week 4 of preseason. And then that's when I do my draft. I'm an owner of my league. So we do it in preseason. But in about a couple minutes, 7:12. Actually, I'm gonna do, let's say 7:15. We're gonna do 7:15. Just to wait to see if somebody's gonna rock or more people gonna rock. Cause I feel like a lot of people gotta hear this information, man. So I'm coming and I'm doing everybody a solid. You know what I'm saying? Cause I can keep all this information to myself and keep, hitting it up and be top 4 every single year. I've been doing this thing for 8 years, fantasy football, and I've been top 4 7 out of the 8. I got proof that I'm a champion. I can prove that. I can show you that. But yeah, on my side, I'm in the West Coast, and I'm just gonna say about 7:15 or 10:15 for y'all that I'm gonna start this fantasy football talk that I have for you guys, and then I'm gonna get on out your way. I'm also open up for questions. If you have any questions about running backs, specifically running backs, I know if you guys have been around me before, I answer all different types of questions, NBA history and all of that stuff. But today, specifically today, we're talking about fantasy football running backs. So if you got fantasy football running backs questions right now until 7:15, let me know what's up. I'm opening it up for questions. So if you got questions, let me know what's going down. Because when I start this video, I am doing fantasy football running backs. And that's what we're dealing with until I open it up again for questions. So with that being said, we have like 4 minutes left until I hit you guys with the intro. And once I hit you guys with the intro, and we're going to get started. I'm going to get started with the first one. As you can see, my screen is behind you, my computer screen, to where you can see where I'm scrolling. You can see where I'm getting my information. A lot of my information is from ESPN Fantasy Football. I also have the ESPN Fantasy Football account to the point to where I can get a little bit more information, in-depth information. So, I'm kind of giving you some cheat sheets, you know what I'm saying? So if you're not paying for ESPN Plus, I happen to be an ESPN Plus member, so I pay for extra information. So everything that I'm saying, you're going to see behind me. I'm not just talking out of the side of my neck. Everything that I'm telling you or about to tell you, you're going to see behind me. You're going to see proof of it. But, you guys have 3 minutes before I hit you with the intro. And then once I hit you with the intro, I'm going to hit you with this information that I got for you. This particular video, if you haven't been watching the thumbnail, it's about fantasy football running backs. So 2 more minutes for questions. So if you got some questions, it's open up now. Just give me fantasy football running back questions. It's a lot of information to process, so I kind of don't want to be thrown off track about anything else right now, or at least until the next time I open up questions. But for right now, you got about 2 or 3 minutes or so to ask me some things. But what I asked you guys earlier, I was saying if you guys already drafted, if you guys are going to draft or whatever or what have you. Let me know in the comments. Also, let me know what your teams are looking like, and I'll get that to you. I'll get back to you and see what it looks like as well while this video is going on. 1 minute for some questions. Once I hit that intro, we getting started. I'm telling you, don't come with them questions now. Once I start that intro, we are starting up. So we got a minute. Got a minute to go. Ask me anything fantasy football running back. So in a minute, 7:15. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit up this intro, and then I'm gonna get started on this video. All right. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get to it. Yo, let's get it. Let's get it. So, what I want to talk to you about is obviously fantasy football running backs, but I got Pacifics. So with that being said, let's get started. Tip number 1. It is go after running backs. Let me see. Hold up. What's the thing about doing live stream is that... There we go. All right. My bad. But anyway, tip number 1 is go after running backs that get work in the passing game. So that's what I'm talking about first. And for the most part, you want to go after running backs that have work in the passing game, especially in PPR, because they're going to get receptions for you. They're also going to be getting more points for you if they're catching passes out of the backfield, obviously. So basically, you want to grab somebody in the first round, or whenever you want to draft. I'm gonna tell you when to draft. This is the 5th tip. I'm gonna tell you exactly when to draft a running back. But for the most part, what you want to do is go after running backs that get you work in the passing game, because it helps you a lot. It helps you a lot, because if your running back is not getting you 300, 200 yards or 100 yards and like 3 touchdowns, then you're going to be screwed. But if a running back is getting you about 75 rushing yards and he's getting you 6 receptions and a couple of yards after the catch, then you good. And that's what you want to go after. You want to make it easier. You want to make it as easy as possible to get points. That's basically what I'm saying. The reason why you want to go after running backs that get work in the passing game, because ultimately it's going to help you. Like I mentioned in my first fantasy football video, I said things about getting dual threats for pretty much almost the same reason. And I know quarterbacks ain't catching passes unless you're talking about Nick Foles in the end zone in a Super Bowl a couple of years ago. But for the most part, you get positions that could do more than what their position is called for. You're getting a dual. You go for quarterbacks, you go ahead and get dual threat quarterbacks, because obviously they can run and they can pass. And, you know, they're going to get you passing, score with passings. They're going to get you scores with running as well. But that's quarterbacks. Running backs, pretty much the same reasoning. Not because of they pass, but the fact that you can go after running backs. What am I trying to say? Shit. Live stream. You want to go after running backs because they're going to get you points in two different ways. And with the running backs getting you points in two different ways, you're going to score better. It's all about scoring. That's all it's about. At the end of the day, it's about scoring. So I don't want to press you with too much information. But at the end of the day, everything that I'm leading to, it's about scoring. And I'm telling you how to score best. All right? So tip number 1 is to go after running backs that get work in the passing game. Sleepy, what up, bro? What's good? And, yeah. For the same reason that you have quarterbacks being a dual threat, you want your running backs to be a dual threat too. Guys that can run and they can catch. The projections of them getting more yards, more scores, and all of that thing, it's high. It's high. You want guys that's going to score you the most points. Get you a running back that get work in the passing game. And you might ask me, well, what running backs are you talking about? Well, I'm glad you asked, even if you didn't. As you can see from my browser, you got McCaffrey in the background, right? I'm not going to read out McCaffrey's stats and all of that shit. So, I'm not doing that. But I'm telling you the type of running backs that I'm talking about. Guys like Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Saquon Barkley, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry. He doesn't get passing game work, but he is a part of my other tips as well. So stay tuned. Keep rocking. Zeke, he gets a lot of passing game work. So Zeke is a target. Austin Eckler, he's basically all passing game work. Aaron Jones, passing game work. Jonathan Taylor, he has some passing game work as well. Nick Chubb has passing game work. Antonio Gibson, Najee Harris, Joe Mixon, Clyde, DeAndre Swift, David Montgomery, Miles Sanders, J.K. Dobbins. Chris Carson doesn't get a lot of passing work. Josh Jacobs doesn't get a lot of passing work. Darrell Henderson, he might explode. He might be a lot better than what we think he would be, considering the fact that Cam Akers is out. But regardless of that, Myles Gaskin, he gets you passing game work. Chase Edmonds is going to get you some passing game work. Travis Etienne, he is especially good for passing game work because of the fact that he's been lining up as receiver. Kareem Hunt is good for some passing game work. Javonte Davis, Javonte Williams, probably not that good for passing game work yet, but he is a target nonetheless. Mike Davis, good for some work. James Robinson is good for some work. Damian Harris, he's going to be a part of my another one of my tips. Raheem Mostert, passing game work. So you guys get the point. Nonetheless, go after guys that's going to get you passing game work. Wait, Nick Chubb doesn't really get passing game work. Isn't that his biggest knock? He does get some sort of passing game work, but that's where I got you covered. And with that being said, I'm going to go after tip number 2. So, if you can't get guys that are getting pass game work, then you can get guys that can also do this. So, if I can get a drum roll in the comments, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to roll it up. Well, not like that, but I'm going to roll out tip number 2. And then you're going to see why I was saying that these guys are also in the video as well. Tip number 2. Tip number 2 has everything to do with guys that get goal line touches. Now, you said in the comments that Nick Chubb, his thing is that he doesn't get receptions. Well, I'm glad you said that, because I had number 2 for you. And number 2 has everything to do with going after running backs that get goal line touches. Guys that, when they are stopped at the 1 yard line, you know those guys are going to get touchdowns for you. And the whole thing is about points. So if you don't get a guy that's going to get you points per reception, just like I mentioned in point number 1, then you can get guys that's going to get you goal line work as well. The whole thing, the whole point is points. I'm going to say that a million times more. The whole thing is points. So you can get a guy that's going to do goal line work for you. So let me go back to my browser, and I'm going to show you guys that you could pick up that's going to get you goal line work. And basically you could rock with that too. If you don't believe that these guys are going to get a lot of work for points per reception, then you can also go after guys that get you goal line work. So, with all that being said, guys that can get you goal line work is obviously Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey's going to get the ball regardless. He is a 4 down back. I'm not even going to say 3 down back. He's a 4 down back. That's just what he does. He's going to be on the field regardless. Dalvin Cook, he's kind of more of an explosive option. Basically, if he's at the 1 yard line, he will get those touches, but they like to give it to the fullback sometimes. Saquon Barkley, he's another one of those 4 down backs, so he's going to get goal line touches. Alvin Kamara, need I say more? He had like 6 touchdowns from goal line touches, and that's just in one single game. Derrick Henry, he's number 1 for goal line touches. So if you believe in Derrick Henry, I'm not telling you, hey, don't get Derrick Henry. I ain't telling you that. I'm not telling you to get nobody in this video. But what I am saying is target these running backs for certain reasons. This reason happening to be the fact that Derrick Henry is going to get you goal line touches, and these other guys that I already mentioned and that I'm going to continue mentioning for you. So, Zeke, he's a goal line touch guy as well. Austin Eckler, he's not much of a goal line touch guy, but if you want to rock with tip number 1, he's the guy for you. Aaron Jones, he's a goal line guy. Jonathan Taylor, he's a GG. I'm going to say GG as in goal line guy. All right, so Jonathan Taylor, GG. Nick Chubb, that's a GG. Antonio Gibson, GG. Najee Harris is a potential GG. It's not even sure what he's going to do just yet, how he's going to be used. Benny Snell might be the goal line guy. I'm not sure. But regardless of that, next you got Joe Mixon. He's going to be a goal line guy whenever the hell he's on the field. Nobody knows that. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm not sure if he's going to get goal line touches, considering the fact that the Chiefs are an explosive offense. And when they do get around the goal line, they like to get cute. They like to do a bunch of play actions, RPOs and shit like that. So, if Clyde falls to you, he's in a situation with an explosive offense. So he might be able to get you some goal line work. He also may be available for tip number 1 as well. DeAndre Swift. Let's just read up on him because I haven't did any work on him. He's been questionable. Reason being is because I just don't believe in their offense like that. But let's get to it real quick. His 2021 outlook says Swift enters his second NFL season as a clear lead back in Detroit. The 2020 second-round pick was limited to 114 carries in 13 games as a rookie, but was busy as a receiver, ranking no longer And blase. Interestingly, Swift handled at least 4 targets in 11 games, but never had more than 5 in a single outing. Swift scored an unsustainable 8 of 114 carries as a rookie, but with newcomer Jamal Williams second in line for touches, he's strong bet to offset TD regression to the mean with a much larger workload in his second season. Even in a rebuilding Detroit offense, and that's exactly why I said I haven't done a lot of work for Swift. Swift has the look of a strong fantasy fullback, not fullback, but running back too. So, with that being said, if Swift is available, right now, as you can see, he is questionable nonetheless. So, I'm not sure about DeAndre Swift. I'm not sure about him. That's one thing I'm going to say. I'm not going to act like I know everything. DeAndre Swift, I don't really know about, dude, to be honest with you. I'm going to just keep it a buck. But regardless of that, back to tip number 2. David Montgomery, he's a GG. And in case you're arriving late, GG meaning goal line back, goal line something. I forgot what I said. But he's going to get you goal line touches as well. David Montgomery, Miles Sanders, he's a goal line back. J.K. Dobbins is a goal line back. Even though Lamar Jackson and Gus Edwards can kind of mess that up for him. Chris Carson's goal line back. Josh Jacobs is pretty much nothing but a goal line back. Darrell Henderson, the jury's out for him. Not sure yet. Myles Gaskin, he's more of a guy that fits in tip number 1. Chase Edmonds is more of a guy that fits in tip number 1. Travis Etienne, his goal is really passing, it seems like. Kareem Hunt, when he's in the game for Chubb, he's available for tip number 1 and tip number 2. And same thing with Javonte Williams. Mike Davis is the starter. James Robinson, not sure is going to be a running back by committee. Damian Harris, I'm assuming that he's going to be goal line back as well, along with Raheem Mostert, or however you say his name. But regardless of that, you see, you have different guys for different situations. If you're rocking with tip number 1, then go with tip number 1. If you're rocking with tip number 2, then I just laid it out for you of guys that you could target listening to tip number 2. I'm not going to tell you who not to draft. I'm not going to tell you that because it's dangerous. In certain situations, you can draft just about anybody. Anybody. So, regardless of all of that, that's tip number 2. We're going to drag it out to tip number 3. Let me just go back and slide it up real quick. And I also will be opening up for questions just in case that it's too much information for you guys. But yeah, that's tip number 2. Go after guys that get goal line touches. So, tip number 3, as I could move off of goal line. There you go. Tip number 3, grab the rookies. Grab Najee. Grab Travis Etienne. Grab Javonte Williams. And grab Michael Carter. So write that down real quick. I'm going to give you a second to target these 4 guys in fantasy football, 4 rookies. Target one of them. If you need to see it a little bit more, then I'll let you see it. But regardless of that, it's Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, Javonte Williams, and Michael Carter. Najee Harris is from the Steelers. Travis Etienne is from the Jags. And Javonte Williams is from the Broncos. Michael Carter is from the Jets. I don't know why I just drew a blank when I just wrote it up. But, yeah. So, let's get it. Grab the rookies. Tip number 3. And I'm not going to say a whole bunch of things about Najee Harris until I have proof behind me. So what I'm going to do is in my screen, I'm going to type in the name, Najee Harris, and you're going to see a lot of what I wanted to say all over ESPN, guys that do this every day. So it's just to have proof of what I'm saying. So basically, before I even find it, you want to get Najee Harris because he's going to be an undisputed lead back. He's an outstanding receiver, and he's elusive. Elusive pretty much is a good thing because he's going to be a home run threat. But let's look up the professionals and see what they say. Because while I believe a certain thing, they could have more, they can have less. But let's go to it. So, it says his 2021 outlook. Harris was scooped up by Pittsburgh with the 24th pick of April's draft. Standout running back prospects from Alabama are nothing new, but Harris is a bit of a unicorn in that he's huge, 6'2", 230 pounds, and an outstanding receiver with a large catch radius. Now, look. Harris is a bit of a unicorn in that he's huge, 6'2", 230 pounds. Now, while I did say that Benny Snell might get some work in goal line, Najee Harris is huge. So he might get you some goal line touches. But the fact that they are saying, just like I said, he's an outstanding receiver. Outstanding receiver with a large catch radius. 420, so 43 receptions, 425 yards, and 4 receiving touchdowns in 2020 in college, obviously. He's absurdly elusive for his size. Harris, 3.1 forced missed tackles. Tackle rate is third best in this year's class during the past 3 seasons. Harris is severely lacking speed, but his combination of size, strength, tackle breaking, elusiveness, and receiving ability supplies him with a high ceiling. He'll immediately slot in as the undisputed lead back. Pittsburgh's offensive line isn't as good as in years past, but volume is king, and Harris could push for 20 touches as soon as week 1. He's immediately a mid-range running back 2 and sports running back 1 upside. So let's just get back to this point right here, y'all. He'll immediately slot in as the undisputed lead back. So if that read up is not enough for you, then I don't know what to tell you. Undisputed lead back. He can fit into tip number 1 and tip number 2. Opportunity is there. Volume is there. He's been picked really, really high. Guys that are picked high are going to get the opportunities to ball. And he just so happens to be one of those guys with a clear starting job. So we don't even need to get into Najee Harris. His read-up says everything that I've either said or don't even need to say. It's obvious. Najee Harris is going to be that guy. But for the most part, let's go to number 2. Why I feel like you should get these 4 rookies. In no particular order, by the way. Let's go to Travis Etienne. So, Travis Etienne was selected by the Jaguars with the 25th pick. So, already high pick. So, he's going to get opportunities to ball out. Indiana was like and joins the backfield that also includes James Robinson. NCNA is arguably the most explosive back in this year's class, so he has that home run threat that Najee Harris also had as well, which is a good thing. He also brings speed and strong pass catching ability to the table. So that goes into tip number 1. He's going to get passing work. He stands 5'10", 215 pounds, and was extremely productive during 4 years at Clemson, racking up 6,107 yards and 78 touchdowns on 788 touches. That includes 85 receptions, tip number 1, over the past 2 seasons, which is more in this year's class. So he's pretty much the best receiving threat that you can have in the draft, which is a really good thing. NTNA's elusiveness jumps off the page as his 4.1 yards after catch ranks 3rd, and his 3.3 forced missed tackle rate ranks 6th in the league's in this year's class over the past 3 seasons. NTNA's 2021 output will be limited by Robinson's early down goal line role. So basically, Robinson is the guy that's going to get you goal line touches. Travis Etienne is not. But that's all right. He's going to get you a hell of a lot of receiving work. So you can target pretty much both of them in a way that you can have Hunt and you can have Chubb for almost the same reasons. The fact that Travis Etienne, if you're playing a full PPR league, Travis Etienne could be a target for you. I'm not saying get him in round 1, but I'm saying to target, to grab one of these 4 rookies, if not 2 of the 4. But let's get to it. The last little nugget. But a 130 carry, 60 catch season would be enough to keep the rookie in the running back 2 mix in PPR. So there you go. You can target Travis Etienne if you're playing PPR, points per reception. And with that being points per reception, he's going to get a lot of receiving work. It already says right here that James Robinson is going to be the goal line back. So you can get James Robinson if you feel like he's going to get you touchdowns in that way. And you can get Travis Etienne because we already seen that he's the best receiver in the NFL. I'm not in the NFL, but as far as rookie-wise, because we're talking about rookies, obviously, Travis Etienne is that guy. So let's look up and let's search up the next guy. I can't even see Javonte Williams. Before I even read out anything that ESPN is about to say, and trust me, I didn't remember all of the things that they're going to say. I don't have a memory like that. I believe in Javonte Williams, considering the fact that obviously what's going to be said here, and also the fact that Melvin Gordon, unfortunately, he's almost guaranteed to not be in all 17 games. I can't remember the last time we've seen Melvin Gordon finish 17 games. On top of the fact that, you know, they're adding another game in the season. So with them adding another game in the season, Javonte Williams is going to get some work. And with him being around and the backup of a running back that is injury prone, he's going to get some work. So that's the story I have on Javonte Williams, is that I believe that he's going to get some touches. He's going to get some work. And once he shows that he is the most talented running back in the backfield, he's going to start and he's going to get you points. So I'm telling you now to grab those 4 rookies. I hope by now you have at least written up the 4 rookies that you see in the background. And, you know, just look them up. If you don't watch, you know, this live stream and you don't remember everything I'm saying, go ahead and look them up for yourself. And it's repetitive of what I'm saying for the most part. So, with that being said, let's get to Javonte Williams and why I believe that he's a guy that you should grab. It says that Williams was selected by Denver with the 35 pick of the 2021 draft. The NC products calling is elite tackle breaking and elusiveness, which goes good. And the fact that he breaks tackles is going to be a home run threat. Williams has the second best yards after catch and forced missed tackle rates in this year's class over the past three receptions, past three seasons, and was top 2 in both categories in 2020. So basically what that means is the fact that he's going to give you a lot of receiving work. So it's a guy to target. I'm telling you. Williams has good size. He's 5'10", 212 pounds, pretty much the same height and weight as Travis Etienne, and is an aggressive and explosive rusher with respectable receiving production. His 25 catches in 2020 were third most in his class. So he's going to get you some receptions. Williams is one of the youngest backs in the class, 21, but will immediately step into a consistent role next to Melvin Gordon. He may start slow. So I am saying that he may start slow because if we are going to rank the running backs that I believe, he definitely is third on the list as far as rookie running backs. So, yeah. He may start slow though, but Williams figures to progressively take on more work as the season progresses. He'll be worth a mid-round pick in season-long leagues. So, that's basically kind of what I alluded to, is the fact that I'm not going to say once Melvin Gordon goes down. I'm just really saying once games get a little bit closer and Javonte Williams is in for some carries, he's going to show that he's the bet. He's going to show that he's a good running back. Better running back, I'm not sure, because he's a rookie. That's kind of hard to place those expectations on a rookie running back. But for the most part, I just think the guy's really talented. I think the situation is really good for him, especially considering the fact that the Broncos don't really have a quarterback I feel like they trust. So they're going to be a rushing team. They're going to have a lot of receptions out of the backfield. But that's just what I feel. You can feel however you want. But for the most part, from what I think and what I'm targeting is Javonte Williams, is because of, one, the situation, one, the potential volume, 3 is the fact that he's behind an injury-prone back, but that's not a guarantee that he gets hurt. God forbid the guy from getting hurt. I'm just telling you his history of his career, Melvin Gordon that being. Number 4 being that they just added an extra week for fantasy football. So that obviously means that the backup has more work than he might have had in previous years. So Javonte Adams is a good target for you guys. And so far, you got tip number 1. Well, I'll re-announce it in a minute. But that's Javonte. That's Javonte Williams. I don't know why I called that man Adams. That's definitely not his last game or last name. The last guy I want to get into is Michael Carter. I actually would rank that dude 2A. I read up on him before, and I like what I see. So, Michael Carter from the Jets. The Jets selected Carter in the 4th round of April's draft, which is pretty high. Pretty high. The North Carolina product is on the small side at 5'8", 201 pounds, but he's quick, explosive, and a terrific pass catching prospect. Look, I'm highlighting a terrific pass catching prospect. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. All right. So, Carter was very effective in 2020. averaging 8 yards per carry and running for 10 plus yards on 23% of his carries, both best in this year's class. Carter's lack of size and speed could limit him to change of pace, kick returner role in the pros, but he has a path to lead back duties in New York with Tevin Coleman and the Michael Perrant. Whatever. Carter's pass catching prowess and path to a big snap share launches him into immediate weekly flex consideration. And I'm glad that they said consideration, because I'm not pounding the table for anybody that I'm telling you to get. And I'll say it over and over again. You guys get what you want. I'm just suggesting. That's all I'm doing is suggesting. My suggestions is obviously pretty cool because of the fact that I've been in the playoffs for 8 years. I've been top 4, 6 out of those 8. So, for the most part, it's like you want to get guys that can receive, and you want to get guys that can do the things that I've been talking about already. So, Michael Carter, he has the opportunity. He has he could possibly be number 1. He's a terrific pass catcher, which goes to point number 1 that I already mentioned, and I'm going to mention again. He's a little bit on the small side, so he's not going to fall under tip number 2, unfortunately, until we see it. But he has potential, nonetheless. He has potential. So, Michael Carter is a guy that you want to get. And mostly because he's a terrific pass catcher. And then again, because of the fact that, like I said, nobody really is losing sleep over Tevin Coleman and Perrine. Let's just be honest. I'm not trashing those dudes at all, but come on now. Talent is there. The potential is there. And that's just a guy that you want to draft. But, what's up, bro? For the most part, yeah, man, that's what you want to get. That's what you want to do. So with that being said, let's get you to tip number 4. Real quick. So grab the rookies: Najee Harris, Travis Etienne Jr., Javonte Williams, and Michael Carter. Grab those guys. I'll put them up. I'll put everybody on the screen as I get to it. Tip number 4. I'm going to get to that as well. Knock this down and put this up. Tip number 4. Always have a always have a backup plan and a stash. The reason why I said things about the rookies because they are a perfect backup plan and a perfect stash. You see, Javonte Williams is not the clear starter yet, right? But let's say if his guy went down with a injury, let's say if the number 1 guy goes out with COVID, Javonte Williams is the clear next guy. So grab your stash. Grab your backup plan. That's your backup plan. Basically, that's number 3. That's part of your backup plan. That's part of your stash. That's part of your bench. So if you take all of this information in the right way, you would know. Tip number 1, we're talking about receiving backs because of the fact that they're dual threats. They're going to get you points in 2 different ways. Tip number 2 being the fact that goal line touches because points, right? Grab the rookies because it goes after 4. You have a backup plan and you have a stash back. Javonte Williams falls under a stash back. Michael Carter falls under a stash back, and Travis Etienne probably falls under a stash back with the potential for more. And, you know, it's a great backup plan. All these dudes are young. They're like 20, 21, 22. And they're going to be ready to ball out in the league, and they're going to be ready to show what they have. So if you really believe in Najee Harris like I do, you can target Najee Harris. Or you can go with tip number 4 and have them as your backup plan and have them as your stash with the potential for those guys to go up and start and the ball out for you. All right, so Travis Etienne, he definitely falls under that. Javonte Williams, he definitely falls under that. And also Michael Carter falls under that. But that's just rookies. Let me show you guys who else falls under that. All right. And we ain't talking top 5 running backs. We talking just solely backup running backs. All right. So let's get to it. So let me get all the way down. Javonte Williams, who I just talked about. Damian Harris, he's probably going to be the starter. Zach Moss is more like the starter, a.k.a. goal line work. Leonard Fournette might be a cool backup plan, but I'm not really sure. Kenyon Drake is a really good backup plan. If Josh Jacobs goes down, Kenyon Drake is the guy. James Conner might be a cool backup plan. I don't know. Not really. I don't really believe in him like that. Jamal Williams might be a cool backup plan stash. A.J. Dillon, if you believe that Aaron Jones might be a little bit of injury prone, he's a good backup plan. Rojo, he's more of a starter, a.k.a. running back by committee. Nyheim Hines, passing game work. He's a cool backup plan in a talented offense and a pretty talented offensive line. Trey Sherman, he's a really good stash back. So let's read up on him real quick. I pretty much scrolled all the way down just to get to Trey Sherman. Honestly, I'm not even going to lie to you. But Sherman was Sermon. I just butchered his name. But anyway, Sermon. I'm going to call him Trey. Because I'm going to keep calling that man Sherman. All right? I'm going to call him Trey. So Trey was selected by the 49ers in the 3rd round of April's draft. That's pretty high. The Ohio State standout is a big 6 foot, 215 pounds. Pretty much the same size as Najee Harris. And explosive runner. Like I said with Najee Harris, home run threat. That's good. Who racked up 455 carries during 3 seasons at Oklahoma and 1 at OSU. Trey sports a good elusiveness profile. Top 10 in his class in both yards after catch and forced missed tackle rate over the past 3 seasons, but lacks speed, exactly Najee Harris. And his potential passing game contributions are a question mark. That's the bad thing. Well, not really the bad thing, because actually Najee Harris had less receptions than that. But he totaled 48 receptions and caught a weak 79% of his targets from 2018-2020. But in a Kyle Shanahan offense, and if Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be the starter, they're going to do what they can to protect him. So by protecting him, you can just dump it off to the running back. So for the most part, Trey has a shot to eventually emerge as the 49ers lead back. Oh, what did they say again? Trey has a shot to eventually emerge as the 49ers lead back. So if that doesn't equate to a stash back, then I don't know what it is. All right. So getting more to it. But he'll first need to overtake Raheem Mostert and perhaps Jeff Wilson Jr. and Wayne Gallman. Trey lacks standalone value in the short term, but he's a strong target for a bench stash considering Mostert's durability woes. So again, I'm not just talking outside of my neck. I actually do know somewhat of what I'm talking about. You seen ESPN, who's kind of really behind my takeoff with fantasy football. They're pretty much saying everything that I'm saying. The reason why I'm saying Trey is a cool stash back. I'm just telling you like it is. He's a cool stash back for the reasons that I just mentioned. Devin Singletary is a cool stash back. I ain't gonna read up on him. James White, he's like full PPR. He's gonna get you really good targets, but Tom Brady's not there no more, so I'm not sure. Latavius Murray, he's a cool stash option, but not really. Kamara is kind of durable, which might lead to him not being durable. So he's gonna get Alvin Kamara is gonna get a hell of a lot of work this year, a hell of a lot, because Michael Thomas is out. They don't know who the quarterback is, Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill yet. So that might cause them to be a little bit too cute with the playbook. So I kind of see Kamara losing some yards, and he may be out with an injury, considering the fact that they have to play him so much, considering that he is the best option for points for everything other than Taysom Hill, obviously. But regardless of that, Latavius Murray, if you don't get Kamara, he's a good stash option. For more reasons to the fact that, you got another week into the season. So with you having another week into the season, you also have a guy that could get goal line work if Kamara is not in the game. Latavius can get goal line work, or you can use it as insurance, considering that Kamara is the number one unquestioned option of that Saints offense. And if he gets hurt and if he gets COVID, people are going to want to get Latavius Murray. So what you go ahead and do is get Latavius Murray, right? And the guy that's in your league that really wants Latavius Murray, he has to come to you. And you might be off a little bit. It might be somebody that you need on his roster. Well, there you go. That's your trade. You can give him Murray if he can give you something else. If that is not, it's that simple. It's that simple. I'm telling you, it's simple. Fantasy football is a lot more simpler than you can possibly think. It's really, really simple. It's a lot of information. I'm telling you, this video is going to be up. You can replay it. You can share it. You can like it. You can do what you want. But it's going to be up. It ain't going nowhere. You can go back all over this information. But Murray is a good stash option. Gus, yeah, I guess. Good stash option. He's going to get touches. They signed him to a 2-year contract for a reason. So he's going to get touches. He's a good stash. He's a good option that you could possibly use. Let me turn this light down because I'm getting hot as shit. I'm not even going to lie to you. Can you still see me? Yeah, you can still see me. All right. Gus Edwards. Again, I said he was signed to a 2-year contract extension, so obviously he's going to get some yards. I believe in J.K. Dobbins more, but we're specifically talking about bench options. Gus Edwards happens to be a really good bench option, a good stash option. He's going to get some goal line work as well. But he's not a receiver at all. So if you're playing standard, maybe you get Gus. Again, I'm going heavy on J.K. Dobbins. But Gus Edwards is a pretty cool bench option for the same fact that I mentioned already with the other backs. He can get hurt, he can get COVID, and Gus is the guy that's going to get his job and all of the touches that J.K. Dobbins will get. So Alexander Madison, to be honest, he's a good option on the bench for the same thing as Latavius Murray, but it's a little bit deeper than that, considering the fact that Dalvin Cook is almost guaranteed to be injured. He has shoulder problems for the last 3 or so years. So that's a guy that is likely going to be injured. And if you don't believe me, look what I'm saying. Minnesota selected Morrison in the 3rd round in the 2019 draft. Is kind of high. All right. Madison doesn't see the field much when Cook is healthy, but showed well with 277 yards and 3 touchdowns on 58 carries in 3 games in relief of an injured Cook in 2020. Only 6 running backs scored more fantasy points those weeks. Madison has no standalone value, but especially after the departure of Mike Boone, the 23-year-old is locked in as one of fantasy's top insurance options. So if you don't get Dalvin Cook, we are discussing bench options. It's a good bench options. Again, he's locked in. Let's highlight it. He's locked in as one of fantasy's top insurance options. He'll be in the running back one discussion if Cook, 2+ missed games in all 4 NFL seasons, misses more time. It's pretty much exactly what I said. Going over to Tony Pollard, pretty much the same reason. If Zeke gets hurt, that's the guy that you want. I don't have to read up on him. It's the same thing. So I'm giving you so many ways to get running backs. I'm not saying to get these 5 guys, and if you don't get those 5 guys, you suck. I'm not telling you that. I'm telling you you can get different guys in certain situations, and they can ball out for you. You just got to know the certain situations to get them. You can't just draft any old body and expect them to ball out, especially if you don't know what you're doing or how to do it. I'm trying to just teach you how to do it the easy way, simple way. Hopefully I'm breaking it down in the best way you could understand. If not, you can go back to this live stream and repeat everything that I said, or you can ask me in the comments and I can answer at a later time or while the video is going on. But what I'm trying to do is slide back up, because if I'm not mistaken, number 5 has something to do with what I'm talking about as well. But let me go on ahead and get you to number 5. Number 4 was always have a backup plan in a stash. And also after 5, I'm going to go over everything. Well, not everything, but I'm going to put everything on the board. I should say, not really a board, but nonetheless, what we see in the back of us. So, number 4, always have a backup plan in the stash. All right, so number 5, draft running backs first. Draft running backs first is simple. The wide receiver class is super. The wide receiver class is super duper, super duper 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 duper. If I can't find a duper, it is so stacked with talent. You talking Cooper Kupp, you can get probably in round 6, round 7, who is pretty much the number one receiver in an offense that has Matthew Stafford, who just fucking slings the ball all the time. Robert Woods, for the same reason. Michael Gallup, who's in a hell of an offense. CeeDee Lamb, depending on, if you got any Cowboys rocking, people might sleep on CeeDee Lamb. Also, you have guys, let me see. Because I'm talking about receivers. Anyway, receivers are stacked. I'm going to do a video for y'all for receivers next. But for the most part, just believe me, receivers are stacked. And like I said, I'm going to show you pretty much all the receivers that you can target. Pretty much, it's not a lot of guys that's off the market as far as receivers go because they're so deep and they're so jam-packed. But we're to running backs before I even say everything or whatever. We're into running backs. So, drafting running backs within the first round because of the fact that they hold a lot of value. So, if you're getting guys within tip number 1 that get you points per reception, goal line touches, you're grabbing one or two of those rookies. And you have guys with a backup plan or whatever. Well, actually, backup, that's not part of what I'm talking about, actually. But drafting the running backs first, you're going to get guys that are starting. You're going to get guys that's not in a running back by committee. You don't want guys that has 17 running backs on the team and they give catches to all of them. They give passes. They give everybody goal line touches. People like the Patriots. Patriots give everybody, every single living body with his last name as a running back. They give them touches. And that's not a good thing at all. So you want to get running backs because you don't want to be in that situation to where you're picking out of 19 guys in one situation. You want to get within pick number 1. Let's say it don't even matter where you pick at in fantasy. It don't matter. It does not matter where you pick. Pick a running back first. Go 2 running backs. You want a starter. Let's say. So we have the 5th pick, right? And depending on your draft, if your draft is anything like mine, I'm just going off what I might say or what I might do. All right, so Christian McCaffrey, right? You have the first pick in your 5th. Let's say guys somehow slipped up on Christian McCaffrey and they didn't pick him first. Maybe they think Devontae Adams should be drafted that high. I mean, you might not be wrong. But receivers are really deep. So, Christian McCaffrey, again, you're the first pick in the draft. I mean, you're in the first round, and you have the 5th pick, right? First round, 5th pick. Christian McCaffrey's available. Get Christian McCaffrey. He's the starter, right? He's not in a running back by committee. I don't know who in the living hell is his backup running back. I have no idea who his backup running back is. And I do sports stuff all day, every day. I have no idea who his backup running back is, but that's a good thing. That means that he's going to get volume. That means that he's going to get goal line touches most likely. He's going to get a lot of passing work, judging off his history or whatnot. But for the most part, McCaffrey is the guy, number one guy. He's number one guy for a reason, because he's not in a running back by committee. You're not going to have to pick out of a whole bunch of people. And in some running back by committees, you can find the best guy for the job and you could stash him, like I said. But we just talking strictly starters, and we're talking strictly first round and second round. So, first round, your pick number 1 and you pick number 5. Christian McCaffrey is the way to go. Dalvin Cook is the way to go. I still believe in Saquon. Saquon is the way to go. Kamara is the way to go. You can mess with Derrick Henry if you want, and you can mess with Zeke. After that, in the first round, those are the guys: Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Saquon, Kamara, Derrick Henry, because of his goal line work, and you can get Zeke. So, I'm telling you how you can set up your draft right now. So if you have a pen and paper, this is when you break out your pen and paper. If you already wasn't jotting all this stuff down, then you tripping. You really tripping. All right. So, first round, right? I got out my pen and paper. All right. I got out my pen and paper. First round. Write this down. First round, go after running back. Running backs are a dime a dozen. My first round pick needs, heavy on the needs, to be a first round pick. My first round pick needs to be a running back. Whatever. I got an eraser pen, so I'm like that. I can do whatever I want. It's my party. I can do what I want to. Can you rate my team? Yeah, I can rate your team. Just give me a little minute to get past the things that I'm saying, bro. And I got you. Leave your matter of fact, leave your team in the comments, and then I'm gonna rate it. But for the most part, let's get back to what I was saying. Running backs, draft them first. You see on my paper and pen, I was writing, draft them first. Get running backs first. Don't get cute. Don't get Devontae Adams. Don't get Michael Thomas. Don't get the number 1 receivers first. You get two running backs first. No matter where the hell you fall. 2 running backs first. With the first round pick, running back. With the second round pick, running back. All right. So, you get your running backs. I'm writing down this damn paper. Grab them first. Do yourself a favor. Grab them first. So I'm telling you who to grab first. I'm telling you who to stash them. Get your backup plan. I'm giving you all of the running back sauce, people. I'm giving you all of the running back sauce. You grab them first because their value. Not a lot of guys is going to give you guaranteed points. Not a lot of guys is going to get you that guaranteed points per reception. Not a lot of guys is going to get you them goal line touches. Get them first so you ain't got nothing to worry about. And so round three, you got guys like what? Calvin Ridley. Come on now. Calvin Ridley, who's a number 1 receiver, unquestioned. Along with what you get? You got what? Christian McCaffrey first. And then you went and got Zeke in the and then you went and got Najee Harris in the second round, and then you got Calvin Ridley, top of the third. You know what I'm saying? You got Calvin Ridley in the third round, bruh. What? What are you saying right now? I have Christian McCaffrey, guaranteed touches, guaranteed everything that I mentioned. And then you got Najee Harris, guaranteed all of that stuff that I mentioned. And then you turn around and you get Calvin Ridley, who's going to get 1,000,000 catches, 1,000,000 targets, because the Falcons defense is complete dog shit. If you are a Falcons fan, sorry, not sorry. Y'all defense is trash. Y'all have got worse. But this is not a Diss Falcons post. I'm just telling you why Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts are the guys that you want so bad. Alright, so for the most part, draft the running backs first. I didn't say a bunch of shit. Draft running backs first. Don't make it hard for yourself. Draft them first. Grab your pen. Grab your paper, damn it. I will draft running backs first. I will not get cute and go receiver and get Devontae Adams and get anybody that everybody is talking about, because running backs have more value than them all. And after the first 2 rounds, that value falls off. Now, I help you. You can still get some of those other options, some of those other points, and attack this thing the right way. But for the most part, draft them first. Don't do yourself a favor. After hearing what you've been saying constantly, you're not gonna like my team. I mean, dog, that's why I'm here. Honestly, dude, if I wasn't doing NBA live stream, I would have got on fantasy football videos a long time ago, and I would have saved y'all, and I would have been helping y'all a long time ago. But NBA live stream was the thing. That's how I grew my channel. That's how I continue to grow my channel. But for the most part, my bad that I'm late. My bad. I ain't got to say to pick him first again, even though I did say that. But regardless of that, pick him first. Pick him first. Yeah, Hyper Martin, send that thing to me, dog. I'm pretty much done with everything that I got to say. If you guys want to go back to the video and catch up on some things that I might have said, just go back to the video. And you can see it. It's going to be uploaded right after I finish rating his team. It's going to be in the comments, so y'all can rate it with me. Y'all can rate it with me. Y'all can give him a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Okay, so at quarterback, Hyper Martin got Lamar running back. Don't do my guy like that. He's a dual threat. Don't do my guy like that. He's a dual threat. All right, so Lamar at running back, Gaskin at running back. I like Gaskin a lot. I like Gaskin a lot. A whole lot. A hell of a lot. He's going to be a PPR master. And the Dolphins, they didn't draft a running back until the 7th round. So they believe in Gaskin. I think Gaskin's going to go off. Lamar Jackson, he gives you the dual threat ability, getting you rushing yards, rushing touchdowns, and scoring because he's a quarterback. Nonetheless, whether you think so or not, he's a quarterback. Fournette, he is not really much of a starter, I would think, but nonetheless, he is a goal line back. So you're not off to a bad start, bro. You're not too bad. Lamar. I like Lamar. Lamar's my guy. If you got my Instagram, you already know what's up. I'm rocking with Lamar heavy. But Lamar, Gaskin, Fournette, he can get goal line work, so he could be good for you. If I were you, I would find another running back that could do a little bit more, especially if he's going to be your running back too. Devontae Adams, he's king. I don't even know how they let you get Devontae and Steven Diggs. You must have got Devontae first and Steven Diggs second, and then you got Lamar within the 7th round, Gaskin probably in the 6th, and Fournette a little bit later. That's what I'm assuming that you did. I could be completely wrong. But Devontae Adams, for clear reasons, he's going to be great for you. Steven Diggs, the volume in a passing offense, that's going to be stupid crazy. Jonnu Smith, he's going to be good considering the fact that Hunter Henry is supposed to be the projected starter. But considering the fact that he's always hurt, he's always injury prone, Jonnu Smith is probably going to be getting you some good touches. And Jonnu Smith is a good option for you. He's a good option. So, Keenan Allen as your flex. Holy shit. How the hell did you do that? Who the hell are you playing with? Devontae Adams, Steven Diggs, and Keenan Allen? Bro, you Gucci with them. And then you got Lamar and Gaskin, you straight. I would find another running back too, because Fournette, honestly, if I'm going to be honest about Fournette, he might only hit you up for like 5 points, 4 points some weeks, because he's not really a receptionist, a PPR mastermind. So he doesn't really have too much value. But if you can find somebody else and run it back too. I like Lamar. I like Gaskin. I like Devontae Adams. I definitely like Stefan Diggs. I like Jonnu Smith. And I like Keenan Allen. That's a hell of a start. Only person I don't like after the team I just named is Fournette. For obvious reasons. Browns defense. Browns got some nice pieces. They're always usually around the ball. They have some nice weapons. I like the Browns defense. That's not bad. Blankenship from the Colts. He was a nice kicker. He was like one of the top 5 scoring in the league last year as far as fantasy football goes. Russell Wilson is nice. McKissick. The hell is that? That was paper. McKissick is cool. JD McKissick is cool. You got OBJ. So what you're saying, Odell Beckham on your bench, Gronk, and you got Mike Williams. OBJ, he's in a running offense, and he's been injury prone the last couple of years, and the year that he did play, he kind of fell off a little bit to his standards, so I'm not really sure about OBJ, but the fact that he's on your bench is a really good start. Gronk, he leaves you some value considering that he's going to get some red zone targets. But as far as Mike Williams, that's a passing offense. Mike Williams is in a passing offense, which gives him some value. So Mike Williams is not bad, especially for your bench. Keenan Allen is also injury prone, so you can mess around and mess with Mike Williams for a couple of weeks, and he can give you some money. But your team is not bad, though. You're right on point with Adams and Diggs on where I picked them. I figured as much. Because there ain't no way that you're going to get Adams and Diggs and you didn't spend the first 2 picks on them. Antonio Brown is going to be nice. I'm hearing a lot of good things about Antonio Brown. A lot of good things about Antonio Brown. That's Tom Brady's best friend. And the last time Tom Brady was on the same field with his best friend, it was a guy named Edelman. And Edelman was a PPR mastermind. Antonio Brown is a slot receiver going against the third best corner, which is really good. He's healthy. He won a ring. His mind seems to be okay, which is really his only problem because I'm a Raider fan to the damn core. But Antonio Brown, he was kind of nutty. I ain't gonna call him a nutcase. I ain't gonna call him crazy because that's disrespectful. Kinda. But Antonio Brown, I think he's a good stash option. I mean, you did good, bro. You did good. You did good. The fact that you got running backs after the 3rd round and you ended up with Gaskin is pretty cool. I mean, I like it. I like it. But at the same time, that's why you got Fournette. And that's exactly why I'm saying you get the running backs first. Because think about it. If you were to go, let's say, running back first, right? Just picture this with me. First of all, let me know what pick you got in the first round. So you were picking first round, but what pick did you get? Because that's going to be a lot of what I'm saying. What exact pick did you get? Tim Tebow? I have no idea about Tim Tebow. So, 7th, right? All right, let me go to my board, right? 7th. Okay, it ain't no way in living hell that Christian McCaffrey was available in 7th. Right? I don't care where you drafted at. Not you, but in general. Christian McCaffrey wasn't available. Dalvin Cook might have been available. Saquon most likely was probably available as well. Zeke was available. So let's say for a minute you went with your first pick within the 7th round. So he was going to go for Saquon, but they picked him. All right, cool. Okay, so maybe let's say Zeke was available. Or Aaron Jones, or maybe Nick Chubb. Well, 7th, I say Zeke was available. Derrick Henry probably was available. Goal line touches is king with Derrick Henry, so he has value. Depending on how guys are drafting, if they did the same thing that you did, probably not if you got Devontae and Steven. But you could have maybe got Zeke, right? You get Zeke. And then if you're targeting running backs within the 2nd round, you got Zeke. And then you get Najee or Nick Chubb or Antonio Gibson, right? And then with the 3rd round, guys are going to be wanting to pick running backs, right? And be like, oh, whoa, shit, he's taking all the good running backs. So they're going to get all running backs. And that's when you hit them right in the face with receivers. So you got Zeke, right? You got Zeke. You got Najee Harris. And then at the top, you got guys like Calvin. You got Calvin Ridley. Diggs, who you just got. And a whole bunch of people. So imagine having Zeke, PPR, and goal line mastermind. and then have Najee Harris, who's also going to be the same way. And then you turn around and you hit him right in the face with Steven Diggs, bro. Like, come on, bro. That's exactly why I'm saying, like, you pick running backs first. Because receivers is going to be extra deep. But you did do good with what you have. So I'm not going to clown you. I ain't going to say, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. You don't know any. I'm not saying that. Again, like I say all the time, you can do whatever you want. I'm just suggesting. I'm just telling you what I do, telling you the reason and how I end up in the playoffs every single year, top 4, 6 out of those 8 times. So yeah, that's why I said you could have did running backs first. But what you did was good. For your bench, I would have grabbed a couple of those rookie running backs and had you set up in case one of your receivers get hurt. Put them in that flex spot, you know what I'm saying? But you didn't do bad, though. You didn't do bad at all. I'd rock with your team. Again, only person I don't like is Fournette. That's it. And you rocking. But you should be able to find another running back, too. If it's me, though, I'm not going to start Fournette. I ain't going to lie to you. But, you did solid, bro. Your team's not trash. I've seen worse. Trust me, I've seen worse. Jesus Christ, I've seen worse. But, now I'm going to work on putting everything all together so you guys can see it and you could write it down for a little bit. And it's just in case you didn't draft yet. If you're drafting late like I am, which is why I'm putting up this video. Again, apologies if you guys have already drafted already and you didn't have time to get to this information because I didn't put it up yet. It's unfortunate. But again, I was doing NBA live stream. That's how my page grew. So I went where the growth was. But anyway, you can leave it down for next year. And the year after that. It's unlimited. It's going to be on YouTube. I ain't going nowhere. I'm not deleting this video. Think I'm going to drop Tebow for another running back. AJ Dillon and James White are the top 2 best available. Do me a favor real quick. And who else is available as far as running backs that you can pick up? Who you got? James White is a cool PPR option, points per reception option. AJ Dillon is a good option considering fact where he was drafted. And the other fact is that Aaron Jones is going to get a shitload of touches, which means that AJ Dillon is going to have some value as a goal line back. So he is a good stash option. He falls under the stash option. He falls under tip number 4. So I would definitely go grab AJ Dillon. James White, I'm not sure about, considering the fact that his best quality is receiving. And he got money when Tom Brady was the quarterback. Since Brady left, James White ain't been the same guy. So, I'm not sure. I ain't sure. But, if I had to pick out of Dillon and James White, I'm definitely picking Dillon. So, that's that. But yeah, I'm going to put up on the board what I got. So, tip number 1, go after running backs that work in the passing game. Tip number 2, Jesus. Okay, I hate this thing. Alright, so I'm going to just repeat it because it can't get on the board like I wanted it to. Apparently, they want to be ghetto. So, tip number 1, right? Let's go back to it. Tip number 1, go after running backs that get work in the passing game. All right, so write that down. Grab your notepad. Go after running backs that get work in the passing game. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Boom. Tip number 2, go after running backs that get goal line touches. So, tip number 2, go after running backs that get goal line touches. All right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Write it down. Take a picture. It's also in the description, so I don't even have to do this, but I'm doing it nonetheless. That's tip number 2. Tip number 3, grab your note, paper, and your pen. Well, fucking pen. There you go. Your pen. Grab the rookies. Najee Harris, Steelers. Travis Etienne, Javonte Williams, and Michael Carter. Grab the rookies. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jesus. Sorry about that. So, tip number 4. Always have a backup plan. Stash. Alright. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Boom. Tip number 5. Draft running backs first. Tip number 5. Thank you, Sporting with KB, because of you, I am going to win my fantasy league, and then when I get $1,000, I'm gonna shoot you 200 in the Venmo. Okay, I'm joking, but regardless, write that down. Take a picture. I don't give a fuck. Joking. Draft your running backs first. Write that down. It's also in the description. So after this video is done, look in the description. You can see it there too. So you got Trey from the Niners, Gus Edwards from the Ravens, Damian Williams from the Chiefs, Madison, Coleman, Lindsey, Bernard. Pick up Trey. Trey Sermon. Pick up Trey. And pick up Trey. I talked about Trey earlier, and I can go back to what they were saying about him. They're saying really good things about him. So if you don't believe me, you can believe ESPN. You know what I'm saying? So go after Trey, bro. Go after Trey. I believe in him too. I'm not just an ESPN head to where whatever they say is Bible, whatever they say is set in stone. But you got to lean on something when you draft, and you can't just do anything you want and expect to win. You got to have some type of strategy, because if anything, fantasy football is a numbers game, and you got to have them numbers right. So, in case you guys are just arriving, I'm going into who the hell is the guy again? Trey. So the thing about Sherman is that he lacks standalone value in the short term, but he's a strong target for a bench stash, considering most starts durability woes. So that fits right into what you're looking for, a bench stash. Also with the opportunity to help you with that Fournette, you know what I'm saying? So go ahead and get Trey, and just wait it out a little bit. Just wait it out a little bit. He has some question marks, as I mentioned earlier, but he has the opportunity to potentially be the lead back in a crowded running back by committee. So it's kind of crowded. It's kind of crowded, but he fits into stash if you're banking off the fact that he has talent, and with his talent, he'll get volume, and with his volume, he'll get you more points, obviously. But yeah, the Niners depth, running back depth, is kind of scary. That's why I said Trey fits in as a really good bench stash option. But if you're losing and it's like week 6 and he's still stashed in week 6, you might kind of want to look somewhere else. But within week 2, week 3, week 4, you can still mess around and still have them. But you can't wait too long. If you're losing, you got to make a move. Then you can give them up. But the thing about putting a guy like Trey on a waiver wire, and then he becomes starter, and then he becomes the next big thing, that could be bad for you, you know what I'm saying? So, but for the most part, yeah, Trey is kind of cool. He has the opportunity to potentially ball out. He was drafted pretty high, 3rd round, so he's going to get looks for sure. He's going to get looks. When I say kind of high, there's a lot of 3rd round running backs in the league. Alvin Kamara is one of them. Just saying. And it's just a lot of 3rd round running backs. But yeah, let me actually catch up on comments. Sermon Gus. What does JD say? I see him. I know for sure JD is he's a good receiving back. Points per reception, he'll be that guy for you. But since we're here and since we're around it, let me read it out for you. So, JD McKenzie, sometimes situation rules all. I was just saying that. Sometimes situation rules all, and that was the case for McKenzie in 2020. The journeyman scat back latched on with Washington as a compliment to Antonio Gibson and went on to lead all running backs in routes, 385 in targets, 111, while finishing second in receptions, 80, and receiving yards, 589. McKenzie played a much lesser role as a rusher, so he's going to fall under a guy that could get you points per reception if you're playing a PPR league. He could be the guy for you. While Antonio Gibson is more of the goal line guy. He's more of the guy that can do all of it. But McKenzie, straight up, as you can see, PPR, he can be that guy. Again, they say, but his massive receiving role allowed him a 17th place in fantasy points. It was his first finish better than 49th since he entered the league as an undrafted free agent in 2016. McKenzie's role figures to decline as Gibson's increases, which is kind of a bad thing. But again, as you can read with his receiving, he's going to have some value for you. And in case maybe Gibson goes out, he's going to be even more of a receiving weapon. and they can play at the same time as well. So McKinsick is pretty cool. They're saying new quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick is sure to lean less on dump-off throws, so that kind of knocks his value a little bit. But the 27-year-old will remain involved in obvious passing situations. Considering him for your bench in deep PPR leagues, but the ceiling is low. So the ceiling is low, but and the quarterback is different. The receivers are different. So you might be able to keep J.D. McKinsick. He might be able to do his thing for you. But the situation is different, man. So that's one of those things that it kind of, well, I could say that he could do this, he could do that. It's kind of one of those things that holds an asterisk, because a different quarterback means a whole different flow. It means Antonio Gibson might be that 3-down guy, and they might not need McKinsick as much. Because when they say Alex Smith is a dumbed down quarterback, that's true as hell. So it's kind of one of those asterisk things, man. You can go with it, but he's one of those guys you could target as letting them go if you find somebody a lot better in the waiver wires that's just killing it. So if you want to get him in order to drop him eventually, you might be able to do that. It's unfortunate, but it happens nonetheless. But yeah, for the most part, everything I just talked about is in the description. At least the tips, it's in the description, so you guys could take a look at that. But do I have any more questions before I get out of this video? Any other questions pertaining to running backs? If you want to leave me your fantasy squad, you can. Now's the time to do it while I'm leaving it open for you guys to do so. And if you just want to keep asking me questions, as long as it's about fantasy football, obviously, you could do that. So I'm opening it up for you right now. Time is now for your questions. So let's get it. What you got for me? What you got? I'm in the West Coast, so it's 8:51, and I'm gonna leave at about 9:05. So you guys got a couple of minutes to ask me some questions. Let me know what's going on. What you got? It can be about fantasy running backs. It can be about fantasy football. As long as it got something to do with fantasy football. Please, no NBA. Please, guys, no NBA. Golly. I mean, I don't have any problems with NBA. You can look down my videos. It's nothing but NBA lately. But I'm really into fantasy football right now. So Hyper Martin says, appreciate you for scrolling down and explaining, and also checking my team out and just helping me out. It's all good, bro. That's what I'm here for. I am not one of those analysts that's going to shit on your team and say, bro, you should have did this. You don't know what you're doing. Let me tell you something real quick. Don't none of us know what we're doing. This is just suggestions. I could be totally wrong. Don't nobody make it out of this being a fantasy analyst and a fantasy girl, because those numbers, when players hit the damn field, dude, all this shit that I'm saying, go to hell. So it works out more than it doesn't. That's basically how my take is. What I'm saying, it works out more than it doesn't. Everything that I'm saying, I'm going to be using in my draft as well. I'm also going to mock draft for y'all too, and I'm going to show you how it all works out. Rather than me explaining everything, from tip 1, tip 2, tip 3, tip 4, tip 5, I'm going to do a bunch of mock drafts, and I'm going to show you all of what I'm saying. I think if I'm not mistaken, I have about 3 or 2 more videos as far as running back tips go. I mean, not running back tips, but I have 3 more videos as far as fantasy football tips go. And once I'm done with those fantasy football tips, that's when I can mock draft. And I can show you guys how I rock. I can show you guys exactly what I'm looking for. So if you guys have not drafted yet, or if you guys are drafting next year, if God lets us make it, because I know COVID and the Delta variant or whatever religious belief that you believe in, if they let us make it to next year, all of this stuff that I'm saying is going to work out for you. If you haven't drafted yet, of course, it's going to work out for you. So I have about 2 or 3 more videos worth of fantasy football tips. And after I do those fantasy football tips, that's where I'm going to go and get nasty with it and get mock draft and show y'all what I do. So, do you guys got any questions for me? Any more questions? I'm going to make sure to take your running back tips on my next draft for sure. Is your next draft next year? Is your next draft next week? You know what I'm saying? Let me know what's up. Let me know what's popping. What you got? Because it could work for next year too. It's going to work. It's not just one of those things to where I'm saying, yo, you got to get Najee Harris. You got to get everybody on the Cowboys because of they dope or they suck. You got to get the Falcons because their defense is trash. While all that's good, next year things can change. But running back tips, that ain't changing, my guy. That's not changing. That's not changing, I'm telling you. Watch. That ain't changing. The running back tips gonna hold you. And I'm gonna show you in my mock draft when I do it how many receivers you got. And I'm gonna go over my whole mock draft just like I did with these running backs. I'm gonna go over why I'm picking what I'm picking. It's gonna be right behind me, like you see. I'm a mock draft. I'm gonna show you how to do this thing. I'm gonna show you how it worked out for me. I'm constantly in the playoffs. Constantly in the playoffs. And I'm not just going to show you nothing. And you don't even know if I'm lying or not. I'm going to show you right now that I be in the playoffs. I really does this thing. Like after preseason ends, before the regular season starts. That's exactly what I'm drafting. That's why I got a little bit of more time to show you guys and break it down before the draft starts. I'm drafting the same way. So my team is Black Thanos in my everybody loves bacon league because they do. I don't know who doesn't love bacon unless you're a vegan. No shade at all. But it is what it is. I'm trying to see where we ended up at. Where the hell did it show? There you go. There you go. Champion. Black Thanos. And Black Thanos is obviously black. And Thanos, and I know Thanos is spelled with an A, but Thanos saying black, they knows. Like they know they about to get their ass beat because I'm that guy. That's what I do. So you can see champion. I was a champion. So I'm not just telling you anything because it sounds nice. I was really a champion, dog. I was really doing it. So, yeah. I'm just proving that I'm not just telling you nothing. I'm not just saying nothing because it sounds nice. I'm not just telling you nothing because I have to write a video, because I most definitely don't have to post. I want to. So, but for real though, just telling you, that's where I finish. That's what I do. If I can go back to where my teams ranked before standings. Okay. So I didn't do it last year because it was just weird as shit. 2020 was super weird. But you see me? 10-3. Black Thanos under the same name. First place. 2019. You see it. There's no lies. I didn't win. I'm going to be honest. I didn't win. But I was up there. 8-5. Top 4 again. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy Chris. But 8-5. I'm up there. The year's 2018. 2017. I'm up there. Top 4. 10-3. Then this is actually, if I can remember right, this is the year to where I started off like hell and I won 7 straight games to get into the playoffs. But 10-3, and that's 2017. 2016, 7-6. 7-6 in a Black and Killer. I was Black and Killer then, but I did make the playoffs nonetheless. I was top 4. And it was a total different league. Like, I don't even talk to those dudes anymore. It's weird. But yeah, regardless of that, bro, I ain't got to show you all of that. You see it. You see it. You see it. But yeah, with all of that being said and all that being done, I know this was loaded with heavy information, but again, you guys can go back and you could save parts. You can get your notepad out and you can write some stuff down, and you know, you can get to work and you can do some of the things that what I've said. You can go with your own advice. You can go with your gut feeling, and you can pick whatever you want to pick. I'm not telling you to do this or else. Do what you want to do. It's your team, however you feel. A lot of the times, that first mind is right. That gut feeling is right. So if you feel like nothing I'm saying is right, do what you got to do. But I just showed you proof that I be up there. Top 4 all the time. All the time. So, Hyper Martin says, damn, so your advice is reliable. Yep. Yep. Yes, sir. But for the most part, if you guys haven't already, please subscribe. Hit that thing with a like, as it helps the algorithm, or the YouTube algorithm. That is my time, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, you can go back to the description. You can fast forward. You can rewind some stuff, and you can see everything that you need to see as far as fantasy football running backs go. All of the tips is in the description. You can get that notepad and write that thing down, like I already alluded to early in the video. That's been my time. I'm sporting with KB. Y'all be safe, man. Wear your mask. If you believe in the vaccine, get vaccine up and stuff like that. Whatever you believe and don't believe in, I ain't forcing you to do nothing. But be safe. At least be safe. Do something. Because I'm trying to get rid of COVID, all right? But that's another conversation for another day. Also, you can follow me on Instagram as well under the same name, Sport1KB. I am dropping more fantasy football tips this week because I know preseason is coming up. The time to draft, if you are one of those late drafters, is approaching. But I have said a hell of a lot. So, with that being said, I am out. Y'all have a good one, man. Have a good day. Have a good night. Wherever you are, wherever you may be. That's me. I'm out.